we've looked at some of Pam Bondi's stuff. We've seen Hegseth's thing. I don't know that I have a clip of Marco Rubio today amongst the field of things, because honest to God, it was not worth clipping for the most part. But and I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to stand because, God, Glenn Beck. But no more bailouts. They have been denying science as because controversy suggesting that any wildfire must come aid given to, Mike Johnson said, must come with conditions.
But let me go into first what is happening in California.
What's happening, Raj?
The fires are still burning. And, good for them. Good for them. Meanwhile, we
Fuck you.
have Newsom talking about his Marshall Plan to rebuild Los Angeles. And let's go to cut 3 there, please.
Over the course of the next several years, Los Angeles will be host to the World Cup and then the Super Bowl and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
All that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan? Tell us about this Marshall Plan.
We're just starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders and nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly, but also federal assistance for the recovery efforts, and how we can galvanize the community.
Okay. So.
Okay. Fuck these people in California, because they, after California saw what happened with the most recent, hold on, was it hurricane flooding? Okay. Let's see. This guy right here, and then this guy right here, this guy right here. So let's just so we're covering what all this, if I may. It is now January. State has finally lifted the water contact advisory in place since Hurricane Helene flooded East Tennessee. So you're not even supposed to go near the water affected by the Hurricane Helene flooding until now. The advisory, which the department said was not based on specific water quality data, has been in place since October 2nd. It applied to the Doe, French Broad, Nolichucky, Pigeon, and Watauga River watersheds and other affected waterways. Want to reassure Tennessee and the water quality in the region. If you'll recall, a heron walks on the debris. And then, of course, what else? This last hurricane season cost Tampa Bay billions. Here's the breakdown. Closed, go home. I think Florida, right? This is the idea that Californians everywhere, when this happened, were like, fuck Florida. They have hurricanes all the time. Why is it my problem? Oh, I'm sorry. They didn't say that. Glenn Beck and Rand Paul did. Woody's waterfront should have damage from Hurricanes Helene and Milton on October 15th in St. Pete Beach. In a combined look at Tampa's most populous counties, Hillsborough and Pinellas, damage cost to businesses and residents amount to nearly $5 billion. That's more than the entire federal estimated cost of Hurricane Idalia, which carved a path across several states in 2023. A state estimate said Helene and Milton will likely cost Florida more than $23.3 billion. Florida's Office of Economic Demographic Research. And this happens a lot. Look at that. Yeah, obviously, Californians saw this and went, fuck the people in Tampa.
I'm glad he's talking about the future. This brings us to...
you being an asshole? Let me guess.
Mike Johnson, something that I haven't talked about, had a chance.
Oh, did he sign you up for his porn app?
to talk about yet. He wants to put some restrictions. His aid proposal for California is that he's trying to put conditions on the aid sent to California. And people are saying, that's insane. You don't do that. Where is your compassion? I want to talk to you about how compassion is sometimes difficult.
Fuck you.
Compassion, true compassion, is sometimes the hardest thing to muster. Because you want...
Right. True compassion is the tough love. Let the people whose houses were burned in this once in 100-year fire, fuck them. Now, again, this might happen all the time and with greater effect in Florida, but that's a Republican state. That's a red state. That's different.
To give until you can't give any more.
Yeah. California feels that way about red states, fuckwad. How about we don't want aid, we just want a refund?
You want to help. You want to be there. But you have an alcoholic in California.
No, you don't. You have an alcoholic in the that Trump wants to be the head of. It wants to be SecDef.
California is the political system is an alcoholic, and it is destroying the entire state.
Again, sorry, because fires in Los Angeles County.
And you don't say when an alcoholic is suddenly, in the hospital or, really, really down and, out on the streets, you know what? I'm going to give you all the money you need to get back into your house. Because the alcoholic will spend that and just end up in the same place, if not worse.
In the same house? Sorry. So your remedy for alcoholism is homelessness. Hey, fuckhead, I think the analogy would be you don't buy him a drink and say, here's something to take the edge off. What the fuck?
Sometimes you have to have tough love. You know this with your family.
Right. California needs to start having tough love with Alabama, Mississippi, northern Florida, and the Panhandle, the Carolinas, Tennessee.
Any kind of aid that goes to California, I think it is only responsible to aid the people as quickly as possible.
As opposed to what? No gender clinics? Is that what you think? They think the money's going to go to like teaching people to be respectful of people's pronouns? This is where you think the money's going to go?
Aid the homeowners as quickly as possible.
Right.
Help them make sure that they have a place to go.
Uh-huh.
Make sure that they, like the government wasn't doing in North Carolina, making sure that they have hotel rooms for as long as they need them within reason. Now, within reason, many of these people are wildly wealthy.
Fuck you. Okay, first of all, what are you talking about in North Carolina or in the Carolinas that they weren't doing? Did the state cut it off? Did Mike Johnson cut it off? It wasn't the Biden administration not signing off on this good, right? They didn't limit this.
Some are very poor.
Some.
There needs to be some understanding that the wildly wealthy, we're not going to put you up at the Beverly Hills Hotel. That's just the way it is. Sorry.
Oh my, fuck off.
But we're going to help the people. But when it comes to the state, if they cannot admit that this is not climate change, that this happened because of their policies, if they cannot admit that.
Okay, well, first of all, fuck off with the forest management shit. This is Palisades. This isn't the fucking Antelope Valley where you've got a bunch of federal fucking lands. This is not the state government not taking care of state forests. Most of the areas that are on fire are private right up to the next piece of private property. The areas around the reservoirs themselves are the only like city and in some cases state areas. The rest of it is owned by private people. It didn't break out over the federal land into the public area that's owned by individuals. The fuck are you talking about?
They shouldn't get a dime. I'm a taxpayer.
Also, what the fuck does that mean? And by the way, yeah, maybe you're a taxpayer. You don't pay more taxes towards the upkeep of California than Californians do. You pay probably less than you should, but you certainly don't pay for Californians.
I want to help California, just like I want to help all the other states when they have a problem that.
So what you're saying is the people in the flooding zones have to move. You're not going to pay for them to rebuild in North Carolina or Tennessee because it's clearly a new flood area, and it's just going to happen again at some point.
They cannot handle, that is too big for their state. But they took all of their resources. And honestly, you could make the case. I'm not, but you could make the case this was intentional sabotage.
Fuck you. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. You could make the case that what you are suggesting is intentional sabotage. Fuck this dude. I'm a little tired of Glenn, obviously. But for fuck's sake, like, this is sabotage. This is like, these people are on their heels because of a once-in-a-lifetime fire break. We should just fuck them. Now that they're on the ground, we should kick them. Fuck you, Glenn Beck, and your phony religious horse shit. Ah, it's just gross.